To believe it's been 35 years since the Urban Cowboy movie launched its boot-scooting mechanical bull riding craze across the country. The man behind the famous honky tonk that inspired that iconic film is telling his story in a new documentary, Urban Cowboy: The Rise and Fall of Gilley's. Country star Mickey Gilleys joins us now. It's great to visit with you, sir. How are you doing today?
Meryl, it's a pleasure and honor to be on the show. Thanks for having me on.
We're glad to get a chance to talk to you. Okay, so take us back to 1980. Gilley's is the world's biggest honky tonk. You're already riding a big wave, and then Hollywood calls. What's the impact of the Urban Cowboy movie?
Well, I tell you what, the Urban Cowboy launched me and Johnny Lee into the stratosphere. I mean, I was doing some mediocre type things in my career at the time. I had quite a few #1 songs. I was traveling and opening shows for Conway Loretta at that time. And when John Travolta came down because of the Mechanical Bull and did the film The Urban Cowboy, it launched me and Johnny Lee into the stratosphere. Johnny Lee had Looking for Love, I had Stand By Me, and of course the rest was history. Unbelievable ride I had in the music industry.
You sure did, yeah. You know, when John Travolta was cast in that role as the star of Urban Cowboy, you know, everybody knew him as the guy that was on Welcome Back, Kotter. Were you kind of surprised that he was going to be the lead in that movie?
When I found out that they were going to cast John Travolta to do the film The Urban Cowboy, it dawned on me at that particular point in time. He was coming off of Saturday Night Fever, Staying Alive. And of course, when I found out he was going to do the film, it dawned on me at that time that all it was going to be was a Country Night Fever. They could have renamed it and called it the Country Night Fever if they wanted to, and probably got away with it. But the Urban Cowboy was based on some true characters that came and participated at that old nightclub, and that's where the storyline came from Aaron Latham. And when he wrote that article, and I found out John was going to do it, I knew that we was going to have something as far as country was concerned. And it did a lot for the Western wear. It did a lot for country music, I think, at that time.
It really did. Of course, the documentary is called The Rise and Fall of Gilley's. Your story has some tragedy in it as well. There's some betrayal involved in this story as well?
Absolutely. I had a falling out with my business partner, and I hate to be of something on the downside, but I've tried to keep the Gilley logo out there in front of people. And it's called The Rise and Fall because the club burnt in 1989. But I got in a lawsuit with him. I wanted him to take the Gilley name off of it because I was a little upset. He was hurting my career in music. And so I won the lawsuit, and in 1989 the club was burnt. It was arson, but anyway, it goes down. And since that time, since I won the lawsuit, I have got a club in Vegas with my name on it. I got one in Reno, Sparks, Nevada, 2 in Oklahoma, and 1 in Dallas. And I'm trying to rebuild the one in Pasadena. But at 79, I got to hurry.
Yeah, I don't know. You look pretty good to me. You look like you're doing really good. Talk about the experience of being at a Gilley's club, because, you know, particularly back in the days when Urban Cowboy was such a craze, there was just no feeling like it.
Absolutely. There was nothing like walking into a club and, you know, and somebody said, hey, you know, are you really the Mickey Gilleys, you know, that started the whole fad, you know, with the, I says, no, I was a part of it. John Travolta's the one that launched it into the stratosphere. It wasn't Mickey Gilleys. But he did a lot for Western wear and the hats. And, you know, today they're still wearing the cowboy hats. I don't know if you know this or not, but a lot of those guys are in the music industry right now, these big stars, are wearing that cowboy hat. And it started back with John Travolta.
Mm-hmm. That's absolutely right. Was there anything in the movie that you wish had been portrayed differently when you look back on it 35 years ago?
You know, you mentioned Boot Scoot and Boogie. I wish we'd have had them in the film too, you know. But we did have Charlie Daniels, so we had an iconic legend in the film with, of course, having Charlie Daniels in the film. And we had some great music from the soundtrack. Even though it wasn't really hard country, it was some good songs in that film. And I think it boosted the experience with country.
Well, it sure did. Made it really kind of a nationwide craze instead of just, you know, the folks around here who love it all the time. So what are you working on these days? Are you able to just sit back and enjoy your success, or are you still creating?
You know what? I enjoy the music industry. I'm out on the road traveling. I'm doing shows on the road and having a great time. And at 79, I want the people to hurry up and come see me because I don't know how long I can do this, but as long as my health holds up, I'll be on the stage and singing.
Well, we'll be listening as long as you're doing it. You're a real treasure. Nice to visit with you. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
All right. The documentary is airing right now on CMT. You can check your cable listings for showtimes.